Reading a story, I think it was in the Hamodia, and a letter page, and one of the child writes, asked the father, how much do you get paid an hour? So the father says, I get $50 an hour. So the child takes out $25 and says to the father, can I have a half an hour of your time? Parents need to give time to children, a time to ask them how things are getting on. And so many children have told me that my parents don't have time for me. Maybe if I won't be religious, they'll suddenly think about Af Mekarev. There's so many organizations who are Mekarev, not religious people, but there aren't any organizations who are Mekarev, who bring near religious people who want to be religious. There aren't any organizations. If I was Chas Chalila Friar, there'd be tens of organizations called Benayich and other organizations who want to be Mekarev me, that spend money on me. But as I'm religious anyway, there aren't any organizations who give me a bit of nearness and attention that I need. If I were to daven for the Ummah, this one says, I don't want you, you're a Shaygitz, you're this. This one, if I was a Shaygitz and came into daven, they'd all be Mekarev me, to make me Yiddish, Frum, to make me a Baal Tshuva. That had placed me. I remember once my wife saying to Lubavitch, she went into the Lubavitch library, and she asked for somebody, the librarian, for a book. So he ignored her. So she said, if I took off my shaitel and started coming in with short sleeves, you would have attention and time for me, because you must Mekarev. You want to bring me near to Yiddishkeit. Just because I'm Orthodox, you have no time to me? Before I finish on this point, there's one point I must remind people of. Yitzchak had Esav and Yankov. Just because a child is a Ben Shel Kedoshim doesn't mean he's got to be a Yankov. He can be an Esav. I'm very sorry to say, it's not nice to say that we think everything has got to go. This hereditary business, that we don't make the biggest chusid into the Rebbe, is a disaster for Klal Yisrael. By the Baal Shem it wasn't like that, by nobody it was like that. This has been a disaster for Klal Yisrael. We take the child, the grandchild, whether he's stupid, clever, or whatever it is, and we think he's got to be Rebbe. Avro Yitzchak Avinu had a Yankov and Esav, and Harebbes today, the Avad and Avada, don't have to have all their children to be a Yankov. I want to read you a letter that I've sent to the Hamodia, the Jewish Tribune, and to the news sheet, a news update. Whether they'll all publish it, I don't know, but it's a very important letter. And I might comment in between some things. Dear Yidden, I want to put pen to paper and thank God and the Jewish people that we are living in a time where kindness and help is given when you are not well. A pity this kindness is not there when we have to find schools for our children, or when people own property in the area and can help young families find homes. On a Friday night at 8:59 p.m., my wife felt short of breath and told me to call the Hatzolah. I did so straight away, as that is the din. If the sick person tells you to call, you do not hesitate, and it is a mitzvah to be Mechal Shabbos. Every press of the buttons on the phone was a prick in my finger. The lady answering the phone, Good Shabbos, made me feel a Yid again. At 9:02 p.m., the first Hatzolah member arrived and gave my wife oxygen. The second Hatzolah member arrived at 9:05 p.m. I will not tell you their names as they do not want it, but I will sign this letter at the end, as a situation that happens to a person are not an embarrassment, only a test in life from the Rebbeinu Shel Olam. But this point needs an extra letter. At 9:10 p.m., the two Hatzolah members decided that it would be better for my wife to go to hospital. At 9:15 p.m., a third member of the Hatzolah arrived with the ambulance, driven by a goy. In the ambulance, they were able to check for lots of things even before they got to the hospital. I must say, the hospital did not come out with a clear result. They also tell you what you may be Mechal Shabbos and what not, as they have regular shirim with the Rov, and not to forget to put my Shabbos key around my waist. We arrived at the hospital at 9:35 p.m., 36 minutes after the original call. I also want to give thanks to all the ladies who come around to the patients. Next to my wife, there was a very old English Jewish lady. The first day, she did not order a kosher meal. I just observed it and did not say a word. But after the ladies had been, she asked for a kosher meal. I must also give thanks to Ezra Marpe and Bikochoilem de Satme. And I write it over to them, please publish my name and address and telephone number. It's very important that people are not embarrassed at situations that happen to them. The situations that happen to a person, are all situations in life from the Rabbi Shalom who tests us and sees how we accept his emunah when situations happen to us, whether we do not lose ourselves. It's so hard not to lose yourself. I always say that they've made so many organizations where a person who's dropped out of Yiddishkeit should come back to Yiddishkeit. What about making organizations that people should not drop out in the first place? So many people need attention and love and care and to be thought of. The parents don't have time. Suddenly when the child doesn't want to keep Shabbos anymore quietly, even though she still dresses Shabbos or he dresses Shabbos with a Bekish and Stramel maybe, but you can see underneath he's not being religious. Then we start running to all these people, can you help me? What about helping the child? You know how many people are not accepted in schools? What about the child's feeling when he sees he's not accepted in the school, and when he gets at 3 he's not accepted, or 4 he's not accepted, and 5 he's not accepted. When he gets to Bar Mitzvah he says, what do I care about his Yiddishkeit? I have to fight all the time to get into a school. They don't want me. Let me go somewhere they want me. With a Freier I'll find friends. Plenty of friends who want me. I don't need your friendship. We don't know what we do. These mechanchim are going to have to bake din v'cheshbon. And I sometimes look around and I see young people dying and young people not being well and so much tzuras around the world. And I wonder why? Why? Where are the people who care for people who are alright? Where are the organizations that care that everybody should have a place in school? There's people who care so much when you're not well. Do you know how they come around? I can't give enough thanks to the Atzola and Bikocholim, the Satme, Ezra and the ladies who come around in the hospitals, how much attention they give and really kindness and care. I'm very impressed. But when a child needs to find a school, where is this kind of attention? Why is it not there to help a person? He's broken. Do you think you only get broken when your wife's in hospital, God forbid, or when your husband is in hospital, God forbid, or when a child is in hospital? You get broken when your child is not accepted in a school, when you can't find a school. I know Yingelato zerbrochen. I know a man who is zerbrochen so much, his Einikel was not accepted in a school. He's really, I would say, mamish gone out of his mind. What responsibility do these people have to these kind of people? Do we always need to have cholim and people to feel down till we have rachmunas on them? Why can't we have rachmunas when they're all right and when they need help straight away? I do not understand. I do not know which Rebbe, which corner to turn to. So much money is going out for Rebbes and Chassides when they fight and they argue. And here we need to fight for a bit of money for things like Atzola and side by side. I don't think he's right the way he's doing about it. But side by side is a good school which is needed. I don't know anymore where to turn to pass my philosophies over, that people should see what I mean and understand. Maybe when I'm not here in 100 years' time, somebody will look at these films and said, he had a point. He had a point. You know, we say, if you don't hit the child, you hate the child. That's what the Chazal say. So how can it be today our society doesn't want you anymore to hit the child? The reason was, if you hit the child and you also give it love, the Torah doesn't only tell you to hit a child, the Torah tells you to kiss your child. We see so much love and kissing and loving each other in the Torah. How can you love HaKadosh Baruch Hu if you don't give love? I once was in a Besmedrish Shlomo Meisel Besmedrish in 11 Ellen Park, and I said, we need to kiss our children. Somebody where Mr. Nichbo kicked me out with a few other people didn't do nothing about it. Even the rabbi didn't do nothing about it. Because he looks at, what is Yiddishkeit? A Strocke, a Stamel. Kissing a child, kissing is associated with dirty things. Kissing is not associated with love and loving your child. I kiss my son every time I see him. Of course I gave him a patch once in a while years ago when he was a small boy. But at the same time, I gave him a patch and I kissed him as well. I love him. I didn't give him a patch because I want to give him a patch. I gave him a patch to show that the point was wrong. But I loved him as well. These children, these parents who associate kissing, don't kiss their children and don't think they don't hit them as well. Don't hit them, but don't kiss them. They are teaching their children to be not to have any caring love. They don't teach their children to have love inside them. They don't teach them the right and wrong. They don't teach them love, which is the most important thing we need to teach to our children. And that's why we have so many children dropping out.